Ladies and gentlemen, I finally watched Hazbin Hotel, and now I hate myself. However, not because it was awful, but actually the opposite. This show has some incredibly good elements about it, like the songs and some of the relationships, but then it has some horrendous things about it, like certain characters, certain plot points, certain characters. The good is phenomenal, but the bad is just atrocious. Such a roller coaster of emotions that actually took me a while to even decide what to rate this season out of 10. But hey, somehow we managed. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into the video. The whole idea behind Charlie's Hotel is to rehabilitate the citizens of hell. However, do any of them even want to be rehabilitated? I mean, as a YouTuber with not even 200 subscribers, I know what it's like to relentlessly pursue a goal and ignore all the haters. But bro, this isn't just relentlessly pursuing a goal. He's literally trying to save their souls and they're like, fuck you, Charlie. This whole plan of hers is giving us some major I can fix him energy. People only change when they want to change. And even then, they'll do so at their own time and at their own pace. Forcing someone's personal growth to fit within your timeline or, attendance set by sadistic, ironically demonic exorcist angels led by the first man ever created does not work. All right? None of these idiots actually want to be rehabilitated. I understand that Charlie believes that they will want to be once they see that the hotel works and that they can get to heaven as a result, but it doesn't work that way. Same way that you can't force someone to change, the person has to have the desire to become better because they want to become better. Not because they want to achieve some external goal. Hey everyone, I know I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall here, but I just want to clarify something. What I'm saying here is not that external motivators can't help someone change and become better. What I'm saying is that on some level, the person has to have an internal desire to actually become better for the sake of becoming better, instead of just having it just be an external motivator that pushes them to do so. Otherwise, they'll eventually revert back to who they were before. Let's take Angel and Penches, for example. At the beginning of this season, Angel doesn't seem to want to change. But Penches does. Penches actively participates in all of Charlie's activities. I'll be honest though, it doesn't really feel like Charlie's activities actually did anything. And that's because, one, we don't see them do these activities that often. Two, a lot of those activities were more for becoming better friends than becoming better people. They never say don't steal or treat others with respect. Instead, it's all about trust exercises and boundaries. That's all friendship stuff, not redemption. Three, Penches was really a good snake person before he even met Charlie in the Hazbin Hotel gang. So overall, it just feels like there was really no progress here. But for now, let's just imagine that these lessons actually did help. They didn't, but let's just pretend that this part of the story was actually well written. Penches is an active participant, while Angel isn't. It took a while for Angel to start to become close to anyone at the hotel and want to become better. Forcing Penches isn't what worked, because it will never be what works. You can lead a horse to water, but that motherfucker won't drink unless he wants to. So honestly, this entire thing of Charlie wanting to redeem everyone in hell doesn't seem like a girl working towards a goal despite what everybody else might think. It seems like a girl who doesn't understand basic social interaction working towards a pipe dream. And we as the audience are supposed to just cheer her on when she's failing at all of it on every single level. Which brings me to my next point. Going back to what I said earlier about how it feels like the hotel doesn't actually work, nor does it help anyone. Let's take another look at Angel does. In his case, the hotel doesn't actually help him get closer to his redemption. And there are two reasons why I say that. Firstly, when the show starts out, he honestly doesn't seem like that bad of a person. The guy is overly sexual and a dick, yes, but he doesn't feel like this character with major demons to overcome in order for him to be redeemed. Not to bring up one of the best redemption arcs in all of animation, do you guys remember just how big of a jerk Zuko was in the beginning of Avatar The Last Airbender? Dude was threatening women and children in episode 1. And also that daddy would love him. Not only was Zuko an asshole, but he was a damaged asshole who had to work to become better. So with Angel, I think they should have exaggerated his terrible qualities just a bit more and made him a more hateable character. Angel just isn't terrible enough of a person for me to believe that the hotel is the reason that he became better. At most, he's an annoying, overly sexual drug addict, but it doesn't give a redeemable soul. The second reason why I say that the hotel isn't what helped Angel become better, the moment that it really feels like he made a breakthrough is when he was with Husker, and the two of them bonded over the fact that they've made terrible decisions that have ruined their afterlife. That moment had nothing to do with Charlie or the hotel. Without Husker, Angel's progress would have been non-existent. In my book, that's a win for Husk, not a win for the hotel. Overall, it just feels like the hotel is pretty useless, which is why I say that Charlie is delusional. She's planning to save all of the citizens of hell, by proving to the angels that a soul can be redeemed by means of her hotel. But she is aware that the hotel doesn't actually work, and she has no proof that it does. I've been up all night trying to figure out why the hotel isn't working. But she is fully convinced that she can convince angels who've been good with the way that things have been for years that the damned can be redeemed, even though she's aware that she doesn't have a shred of evidence that it's even possible, let alone possible, using her hotel. Yeah, dude, I can't even call this naive. This is straight up delusion. She believes that she's giving people hope and helping them, but at no point does it actually feel as if anyone besides Vaggie actually believes that what she's doing is even possible. And Vaggie is also the only person who's been rehabilitated. Not by the hotel, but through the kindness that her girlfriend has shown her over the years. But even then, Maggie was already a good person before she even met her. This is actually the one part of the story that I really enjoyed. By the end of season 1, it actually feels like the people in the hotel really care about each other. If we exclude Alice. Bro is just here to make plans, manipulate, and be deliciously evil. And I am here for it. There's nothing quite like having a character who is this terrifying that you can tell just relishes in striking fear in the hearts of many. And overall, just being evil as all hell. Dude, you could tell me that Alistair is the real Lucifer, and I would believe you 100%. Because there is no reason for this nigga to be this scary. But anyways, I got sidetracked. Tell me in the comment section down below if you want me to do a full video just on Alice. Back to the relationship. I really love the bond that formed between Husker and Angel. Their friendship kind of reminds me of a story that I once heard about a guy who's walking down the street and then falls into a hole. A bunch of people walk past the hole and try to help him, but none of them do anything useful. Until the guy's friend walks past. He hears that his friend fell down the hole and jumps into the hole himself. His reason? He'd been down there before, he knew how to get out. Sometimes we all just need someone to jump into the hole with us and help us get out. Oscar and Angel are those kinds of friends. They're both stuck at the bottom of the hole, but having each other and keeping each other company makes it easier for both of them to bear. And they're a lot less self-destructive though. I don't really know about Vaggie and Charlie though. I get the sense that Vaggie deeply cares about Charlie and would do anything for her. You can tell a clear difference between the love she has for Charlie and how she cares about the rest of them. And the same goes for Charlie. However, the relationship wasn't much of a focus this season, even with the fight that they had, which honestly just felt rushed as all hell, but it is what it is. I just couldn't get that invested in their relationship, so I really don't have much to say about it. And then there are the daddy-daughter relation. Both the pilot and the first episode made Lucifer seem like this awful father who believes that his daughter is worthless and will never amount to anything. But then we meet the guy and he's friendly and cheerful. Well, unless his name is Alice. He clearly wants to have a relationship with Charlie, but just doesn't know how to go about it. And even though I'm years away from even considering being a dad, I couldn't help but sympathize with him. So this made me think that, okay, maybe he's an emotionally absent father who always put his dreams ahead of his daughter. But still, no. The moment that Charlie calls him and says, I need A, B, C, and D, he jumps for joy and drops everything to go give his daughter a hand. So the drama between Charlie and her dad just doesn't make sense to me. It feels manufactured. And I get it. Technically, all kinds of conflict in a TV show is manufactured, but it's not supposed to be this obvious. This actually has me thinking that maybe it was Lilith that got between Lucifer and his daughter. And that's why their relationship is the way that it is. But honestly, it just feels like I'm reaching, and their drama just makes no sense to me. The only thing that feels like somewhat of an issue is the fact that Charlie believes that her dad doesn't believe in her. But this just seems more like Charlie feeling insecure and feeling that she's not good enough than it does that her dad is not supporting her. Because everywhere that Charlie looks, she sees that the souls that are down there are terrible, horrid people that have said numerous times that they're not interested in her redemption. However, she not only still believes that she can change them and their minds, but she even interprets her dad not believing in these demons as him not believing in his daughter. The worst part about it is that Lucifer was right. He said that the angels wouldn't listen to her, like they didn't listen to her the first time. And predictably, they didn't listen to her this time either. This is why I say that Charlie just seems delusional, because nothing she says or does is based in reality. Look, I could go on for days about how much I don't like Charlie and her insanity, but that will be a separate video, because the sheer craziness of this chick needs to be studied. Overall though, I do like how it feels like everyone kills for each other. It doesn't really feel like they believe in Charlie's dream, rightly so, but watching season 1, you at least get the sense that they care about her and each other, which is what I really love about the bonds between the people living at the hotel. I like the majority of the songs in this season, but as you guys know by now, I couldn't tell a major key from a minor key, so I'm not even going to try to rank these songs in any way. However, I can tell you which one I love the most and which one I hated the most. Adam's song Hell is Forever is actually so much fun to listen to, despite what it means for the people living in hell. Loser Baby is my personal favorite. It's such a nice, chill song to listen to when you're going through some shit. It just kind of reminds you that you're never alone. The song that Alistair and Lucifer perform as they try to one-up each other is just fun to both watch and listen to. I love how energetic the whole scene is, as the two of them basically just say fuck you to each other. Like I said, I like most of the songs in this show. However, the one that I absolutely hated, and I haven't seen reviews of this show, so I don't know if this is controversial or not, but honestly, more than anything performed by Charlie and her dad, just rubbed me the wrong way. And it's really nothing against the song. It sounds nice and it works for what it's doing. But honestly, the fact that this song seemingly resolves their conflict, the conflict that I don't understand and just seems kind of pointless to me. Yeah, no, the whole message and purpose of the song just annoy me. I literally wanted to skip the song like 15 seconds into it. Also, one thing I wanted to add here is how the entire scene when they're in court in heaven just feels like an ass pull on both sides. Adam's was more obvious, but Charlie, dude, she said that Angel was making progress and getting better. But by this point in the story, they spent so little time on Angel's rehab, and Lost mentioned it so many episodes ago that you've actually just forgotten that's why Angel is there in the first place. And like I said earlier, it doesn't feel like Angel made much, if any, progress. If you wanted someone to represent the hotel and the fact that a soul can be redeemed, I'd honestly argue that Pensius was better. And I find it really funny that the show seems to agree. I love Adam and how much of a dick he is. Bro calls himself the original dick and doesn't even see the joke. I like that he maintained his delusions of grandeur all the way to the end. Like, hell yeah, man. If you're gonna be an asshole to the end. Another thing I want to mention is Sir Pensius's noble death. To me, that whole scene was just comedic gold. This guy kisses his crush, goes off to sacrifice himself to kill the big bad, but then gets blasted to pieces like he's nothing. He didn't so much as make Adam's robe dirty. But then, all of a sudden, his death is treated like this big moment and everyone's crying. Why? Like, am I just being heartless or was this just terrible writing? I honestly feel like this was just unintentional comedy, but who knows? Maybe I just never cared for the little serpent guy. Lastly, I feel like a lot of the story issues could have been resolved by simply either having more episodes or having longer episodes. If there were more episodes, they could have had Angel be a more hateable character and spend more time on his redemption. They could have given Charlie some character development instead of having her be the same naive idiot from beginning to end. They could have also taken some time to get us to really understand what the hell is going on between Charlie and her father. A lot of the elements here just needed more time. Overall, I don't love the first season of Hazbin Hotel, but I did kind of enjoy it. The plot is interesting despite it needing some work. I actually care about the relationships between the characters as well as the characters themselves, except Charlie. I love Alistair, and the music is pretty great. The show can also be quite funny. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's not half bad overall. The show is a solid 6 out of 10 on a good day, and 5 out of 10 on a bad one. But anyways, that's been me, folks. And as always, if you absolutely hated what I had to say, I got a phenomenal suggestion for you. Make your own video. Cheers.